Well, good afternoon, good end of the morning, depending on where you are. Evening for others. Hey, I'm Velan Hawkins, and I'm here with the amazing Kathleen Gage. And we have just started something that is so exciting that we just have to go live about it more than once. So you are right now seeing the first of the 4 live series that we have that we're going to be delivering over the next couple of weeks. So you want to turn on your notifications and make sure that when we do go live, you get the little message, hey, they're live. And join us because we're going to share some strategies with you in some ways that you can actually move into 2023 in a powerful, impactful way. And so, with that, Kathleen, join in the conversation
Well, it
here.
is great to be here, V-Lynn, and it is morning here. I just got back a little while ago from a beautiful run in the rain, and so I had to get myself really in the mindset of what are we going to share with people that really brings value? And this is all about visibility. And the two of us have been working together for a while now within the vegan space. And I have to tell you, had we not put systems in place prior to us starting to work together, and systems around visibility, none of this would be happening. We're right now working with some amazing, amazing clients that a few years ago, they had, even as much as a year ago, they had no clue who we were, but we were using systems that we're going to share with everybody that immediately jump-started our visibility. So I'm excited to be here, and I encourage people, really take note of what we're saying, because we actually have both gone into a market that we're very passionate about. And as recently for me as 2 years ago, I was a complete unknown in that market. And now people say, I see you everywhere. And a lot of it has to do with being very strategic, very systemized, and very consistent with what I do. So with that, V-Lynn, why don't you give kind of an overview of what we're going to talk about today with foundation?
Well, it is all about foundation, and we all know that you need some things in place. And when you do, you also know that with those things, you got to start at the beginning with a plan. So, Kathleen, what is one of your biggest suggestions or things that you've recognized that make the plan a plan, and not just for the current period of time, but a plan looking forward into the future that you can actually calculate how you're going to get there?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head, which is look to the long term, because a lot of times people do what I call a one off, and they do one event and that's it. And they think that they're going to be discovered through one event. And what really put me on the map in the vegan community was that I did a summit a year ago, a little over a year ago. And I actually brought together some real movers and shakers, influencers within that industry who I had already started building relationships with. And Katrina Fox was the first one. She's very well known within the industry, and it started with me buying her book. Once I bought her book, I reached out and said, loved your book, and what else do you have? And went to her website. Obviously, there was quite a bit there. Started a nice professional relationship with her. From there, I joined her membership program. So I was willing to invest in putting myself in the environment that allowed me to get the visibility that I definitely needed. From there, I actually bought more of her programs. One thing led to another. And when I did the summit, I went to Katrina and I said, I'm doing this summit. Would you like to be a part of it? And I was very organized in how I approached her. I didn't just go to her and say, hey, I'm doing this summit. Do you want to join in? I had the who, what, when, where, and why prepared when I approached her. So it really was about looking at how I could immerse myself into the center of the community, if you will. But it came with a long-term plan. Okay, if I do the summit, what comes after the summit? And what comes after that? And what comes after that? And what I see with people is that oftentimes they'll put a lot of effort into something, but they're spinning their wheels and they don't have a solid plan. And then when that something happens, they think that's the end of it. Well, no, that's the beginning of it. It's just like with authors who write books. They think writing the book is the easy part and that's it. No, no, no. The book is the beginning of what you can do moving forward. For example, getting on podcast shows, writing blog posts, posting on social media, being invited into summits. So really what you want to do to get the visibility that you need is you want to look to the long term. Where do you want to end up? And then reverse engineer that. So Vlyn, based on what I just shared, what would you say is your number one strategy in getting visibility?
Well, excuse me, I love everything that you said. And one of the biggest things that came to me was the point that you made about beginnings and endings. Um, so if you look at a plan has a long-term end, but it has a lot of little ends in the middle. And those ends are merely the beginning of the next thing. And like Kathleen said, I find that a lot of my clients, a lot of people that experience this in business realize that the end is not the end. And, we're all acclimated to setting goals and the energy of setting goals. If you turn goals into milestones, you actually change the mindset and you change the energy around that particular part of your long-term plan, that short-term plan, and you turn it into something that is more or less a springboard to the next thing. And so I want to talk to you about the next thing, because if whatever you're working on now doesn't have a next thing, that has a next thing, that has a next thing,
And
going
then the
again
next
back
thing
to
after
this
that.
beginning and endings, then you are going to be in this. You know how it feels when you start a car and you go a little bit and then you stop, or you're driving a stick and you clutch it and you got that, you made it a little bit and then you stopped and then you got to get all of that energy going again in order to get to the next one. Well, there are systems, there are things that you can do that you will always have that 2 to 3 to 4 to even more next things lined up.
Right.
And the way that, planning is done best is when you are doing what you're doing now and you're two next things in the works that
Which,
you're planning on.
I'd like to add something to that, Vlyn. Going back to the summit that I did over a year ago. When I did the summit, there was a lot of great opportunity that opened up, and we had opportunities on the back end. And then there was a project that the two of us worked on, and from there, we decided to start working on more and more projects together. And one was the second annual Vegan Visibility Summit.
Which was
And from
awesome.
that, we already knew when we started working together, there was going to be something that came after that. And one of the things that came after that, and I'm going to share this with everybody, is we actually had a VIP package. And the VIP package included all the recordings from 12 experts who are all in the vegan space. They're all about business. And it's always interesting to me when you say vegan, people automatically assume you're going to teach people how to be vegan or nutrition. We teach marketing strategies, we teach visibility strategies, and this summit was all about bringing business experts in, and they each shared a piece of the puzzle to gaining visibility. So we still have this available, and that was part of what comes next is making this available for a nominal investment. And you get 12 experts with well over 12 hours of information. You can go at your own pace for only $47 to be able to really immerse yourself into how do you get that visibility? What are some of the strategies? Katrina shares about press releases and media placement.
Publicity.
Yeah, Matali, the vegan publisher, she talks about is a book in your future. We have Jamie Logan, who talked about how to get visibility on YouTube. She did one video with the company that she works with. They got, I believe was it 2 million or 20 million views? I can't remember. After a million,
Two
who cares?
million views in a short period of time.
Right, right. So the main thing for people to keep in mind is that you have to really look to the long term, because right now we're an instant gratification society. That's all very wonderful. And yet, to lay your proper foundation, there are steps that you need to take. And we've shared some of those with you today. So, Vlyn, I just had to jump in with that.
You know what? And it's always welcome because you bring such amazing info in. And I have to say that the summit was very special to me too, because of some of the experts that you brought in there with the branding. And you went from podcasting on both sides of the mic. I mean, that VIP package was really tremendous in what it not only provided for the vegan market that we were actually marketing to, but it's valuable information for everyone in business. And as you and I know, it takes a special commitment for us to be entrepreneurs, but to be vegan, identify as vegan in our space. And for me, my vegan journey, very short, was because of the food, because of a health issue and getting into the food and then finding the food and the impact and the compassion needed for the animal side of things. And certainly we've experienced, because of the pandemic, the shift in energy and compassion towards our planet, or at least I would hope so, because we got to see the reaction of the planet when everybody took a moment of silence and went home for a minute, seeing
Mhm.
Mount Everest after so long and seeing some of the Himalayan mountains and just the sky over Los Angeles. And so, these are also indicative of business analogies in that everything goes through its season.
Right.
And we're in a new season now, going into 2023 and the rest of this new decade, where new marketing strategies have come in. And these are marketing strategies that were brought out as part of the summit. But Kathleen and I really have purposed to bring you even more of those over these next 4 live streams, as well as far into the future. But join us with these live streams because we are looking at our commitment to you
Hmm.
to help you grow your businesses, and our commitment to our businesses and the teams that we have. And so, if we're in the same place, if we're talking the same thing, if we're looking at running this same road race, then, let's do that, because
Well,
that is where our hearts are, and our knowledge and expertise,
right.
and our goal is to help you to make that journey as easy as possible. And the things that we'll be sharing over the next 4 lives, I'm just thrilled about.
Well, and let's give them kind of an idea of what we're going to share. Today, what I would encourage people to do is to really look at where you want to be in 2023. Lynn and I, we've sat down, we talked about our type of client goals. And when I say our type of client goals, specifically, who do we want to work with? Who wants to work with us? Another thing that we've gotten very clear on is our revenue streams. What is it that will bring in revenue so that we can keep doing what we're doing at a very high level? We've also looked at how much we have to grow our team, because we do have a team of people that when we're working on projects, we bring that team in depending on the project so that we can further serve the client. And that really ties in with visibility. It ties into what is your expertise and what should you be doing in your business. And the rest, you should either have a team member that you hire as an employee or that you hire as a contractor. Because a lot of times the mistake that I see entrepreneurs make, especially solo entrepreneurs, and trust me, I've made this mistake myself in the past, is we try to do everything. We try to wear every hat. And what I know to be true is there are certain things that I'm really good at. One is I'm very good at lives. I'm very good at keynote presentations. I'm very good at podcasting. I'm very good at strategic planning. As far as real minutia technical stuff, that's not my wheelhouse. That's not my sweet spot. So I have team members that they're experts at that, and I bring them on for a particular project. And also what you want to do is you want to know that if there's a person that wants to hire you and you're not a fit for what they want, you need to be able to walk away. You need to be able to say, no, I'm not the best fit. I had somebody the other day who actually contacted me and they wanted some consulting. And they laid out exactly what they wanted. And they said, my budget is $300. And what they were asking for was more like a $30,000 investment. I kid you not, that they really wanted so much for the 300. And I said, I really appreciate that you contacted me, and let me explain to you what it is I do and why the investment would be what it is. And I said, for your investment, what you said, here's what you could get. And I said, I don't feel it would be the best use of your money. So I was willing to walk away from that $300 because I wouldn't be serving the client. And that's what you want to look at, is you want to look at how can you best serve the client? Because when you do a great job for a client and you over deliver, it's like you go in and you say, okay, these are the parameters of what I can do for you. And then you go beyond that without charging extra, because I've seen people nickel and dime clients. And it's like, you have to look to the long term. You have to look at building the relationship. So part of your visibility is doing such a great job that people sing your praises. People tell other people how good you are. And if you really just put your A game on and you go out and you give the best of the best with a market that you're aligned with. And that's why I love working within the vegan space, because we're both very aligned with that. It's about, I've been thinking about how long I had been rescuing animals, and then on the one hand rescuing, and on the other hand I was eating meat. It's like, okay, there's a disconnect that I didn't even realize I had until one day I had a big aha. And I see a lot of that in business, where people are very disconnected from what they say is true, what they say about who they are, and then what they're actually doing. So you want to make sure that you're aligned. That's a part of getting visibility too. So we've got about 3 more minutes, Vilin, in the time that we have left, because we do want to honor your time. We said this would be 20 minutes. We want to stick with that. I do encourage people, go to veganvisibility.com/Summit 2022 VIP. I can assure you, when you look at the page and you see what you're going to get for the investment, you're going to be blown away. So, Vilin?
I want to say, look below this video, or find the Visibility and Impact Entrepreneurs page on Facebook, or find one of us, Kathleen, me. If you're connected with us, let us know you saw this, because we are doing 3 more of these with more information, more solid framework, conversation, for you to be able to possibly hear that one little nugget thing that you implement in your business that takes you through 2023 and beyond, like you never thought could happen. So here's what I want you to do. Write these dates down. Thursday, 12/22, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Tuesday, 12/27, same times, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And Thursday, January 5th, 2023, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Join us and hear what the rest of these strategies, tips, tools, wisdom that is going to be imparted might be able to do to help you get to the next stage in your business and your life. We're business owners, and we can't divest ourselves of our lives. And a lot of times, going to business and even doing business for decades, you can separate from some of the things that really should be holding greater value for you. And this is going to be your opportunity to find out what that thing might be
Right.
that you can implement that will take you there.
What I'm excited about, and then we'll be closing because we have about 60 seconds left, but what I'm so excited about is 2023 is setting up to be an amazing year for a lot of people. And really, it's about looking at what you want to create in your business, in your personal life, your contribution, and then being consistent in how you go about it. One of the people that I have so much respect for and what she's done to grow her business is Mitali, the vegan publisher. I've watched her grow in leaps and bounds, and she's just phenomenal at what she does. We had a conversation with her recently, and she said, what it is I do it every day. So do it every day. Write down your goals. Join us on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here. And we will have a very specific strategy for you to gain massive visibility. This is Kathleen Gage and
Velan Hawkins.
Have a great day.
Ciao for now.